Hey guys, Big Pass 52 here with the Karnival Dose deck. Now this is a lot different than all of the other bicycle decks. This doesn't even say bicycle anywhere, so it's not really like you even know that it's a bicycle deck at all. So it just looks like somebody spray painted on this white circle, spray painted on a nose, and put duct tape for mouth and eyes. And it's fairly simple. The black box is very nice that goes along with it. These cards overall are fairly decent. The box, not too much detail put in. The back is the exact same as the front of the box, so there's not a big difference there. So let's just show you that real quick. On the top, there's just two of the little things from the front and the back of the box. On one side it says brought to you by www.karnivalinc.com. The other side says made in the USA. It doesn't even say anything about the United States Playing Card Company. When you get to the back, that's when it starts talking about the United States Playing Card Company right here, and it says karnivalinc.com. It has a reveal for the Jack of Clubs, which is nice. All their reveals look fairly like they're actually real barcodes. They don't ever really seem to just stand out like some of them have before. So, yeah, that's enough of the outside of the box. Let's get into the actual deck itself. The flaps, again, black. There's nothing special on them. Now, when you pull these cards out, the first thing you notice is the skull staring right at you. Alright? Now, this is the deck that I was most impressed with out of all of the cards in the the Karnival series. This deck is the one I am impressed with more than any of them so far. This one they went all out on. Alright, so for this, they put a lot of detail into this picture. Lots and lots of detail. It's a Joker with a skull top hat close up. It's like an old Western picture that's been taken, but of an undead zombie. If you can't tell, right there's a little tiny button on him almost, and it's actually the Dose circle face thing on the beginning, which is kind of cool. And this is the regular Joker, no reveal on this one, but when you get to this one, he's missing his top hat, and you have a reveal for the Ace of Hearts. And again, the little button, everything is the same on him except for he's missing his top hat, and he has the Ace of Hearts implanted into his skull. Now, this one I'm going to do a little bit longer than most of my Karnival deck reviews because this one has the most to get into. For this Ace, it's just a giant spade with a skull sticking out of the top of it, which is pretty cool. Let's see if you guys can see that. Probably not too well, but you can see it. There's a lot of detail. There's stars. There's what are these? These are actually little syringes. These four little things sticking off by his head are actually syringes. And then there's 6 more, 3 right here and 3 right here. But otherwise, this is there's a lot of detail put into this. If you really buy this deck and look at it, there's plenty of detail. And the actual pips itself are little skull and crossbones, which is really cool. You can't really see it all too well, but there's little skull and crossbones in the aces. So before I get into the actual rest of the number cards and everything, I'm going to get into your bonus cards real quick. First, you get, as usual in a Karnival deck, you get a double backer card, which is nice. Everybody loves their double backer cards because it's just standard in all the decks and you expect them now. So yeah, that's really nice. And I'll use this to show you the back more easily in a second, but I'll do that a little bit later. This one is your promo card for the Karnival Big Blind Media thing. And this one is my favorite You Will Choose card. It says You Will Choose the 4 of Clubs, but just the picture on it is what makes it to me. It's the Dose face, a little body, and little stick arms, and a little top hat. And in this arm, he's carrying a skull, and in this bottle, he has a bottle of booze, which is very interesting. So this has just got this creepy feel to it, though. But it gets its point across, the You Will Choose. So that's the other You Will Choose card. Alright? And let's get into, instead of just going straight to the court cards like I normally would, I'm actually going to do all of the cards from 2 all the way up to the king. And then I'm going to show you I'm just going to do a quick run through of the other cards. Alright? So for the 2, on the 2 we have the 2 skulls with some writing in the center. You can't really read, it's in a whole I don't think it's in another language. I think it's actually alchemy, which if you know what alchemy is, then that's not really that great, but it's alchemy, I think. And then you just set those down real quick. And on the 3, it's basically the same thing, but the skulls are actually put in a different spot. And yeah, so, and then you have the little cross skulls in the corners, like on all of them. And the 4 is like almost getting into detail on what the brain and the head looks like. This is a very unusual deck. It's creepy. The dose actually throws you off compared to what I was expecting it to be. So that's the 4. The 5, it's I'm trying to think of what it's called. I don't really remember, but I just studied it too, which is sad. It's a thing where it's like the human body, and it would have the guy, and he has like 4 arms and 4 legs, but instead of having that human head, it's a skull head, which is pretty interesting. It's a little creepy, but it's cool. It's just what makes this deck one of my favorites in the whole Karnival collection. Then you have this, which is the 6, and the 6 has just the whole entire skeleton body basically is on it. Like, if you really look at it in close detail, it's got so much, it's so detailed. This is like just a deck of artwork basically, but creepy artwork. This one is the human body, and it's missing the head on all these skulls. Skeletons, not skulls. Skull is the top of the head. So you're missing all the heads on the skeletons, which is really weird. And that's for the 7. And now on the 8, you have what looks like it's taking a look inside of a man's head. Alright, you see there's the man, and then right here, instead of being like an actual head, it's kind of see-through, and you can see through into it a little bit. And you don't really see a brain, but you're not sure what to see actually in this deck. This deck just throws me off completely. This is the only deck that I do really enjoy from the Karnival series. Your 9. Your 9 is got just two big skulls on it, basically. That's all it really is. It's just 2 big skulls. So yeah, we'll set the 9 down. Now the 10. There's not a lot of room to put a picture in it, so they just put one little skull in the center of the 10, which was still very, very beautiful looking, and it's still very creepy. Alright, now we get into the court cards. And the court cards are my main disappointment in all of the Karnival decks, except for this one. In this one, they do the dose thing on the actual court cards themselves. They make the cards all faded out. All the cards are faded. And it's very, very different compared to any bicycle deck I've seen. Because they put the duct tape over the eyes and the mouth. The hat actually has a skull on it, if you can't see that. And it's faded. It's very, very faded. It looks like it's just been used and used and used. And that's the Jack. The Queen. Again, it has that whole creepy, let's put duct tape over the eyes and mouths and capture it kind of thing, with a very faded out look to it. And now we get to the King. Oh, the King. Now, the King is more faded than any of them, to me. It has the skull and crossbones on the hat, and the eyes and mouths are covered. And the thing that's different with this one, or no, I'm sorry, it's not different. They all have the spray-painted nose on them, too, which I forgot to mention, which is pretty cool. The only one that doesn't have the spray-painted nose is the Jacks. The Jacks don't have it, the Queens do, though. So that's your King. Alright, now let's get into, just do a quick rundown of all the other cards. Now all the aces are basically the same thing. Alright, so you have whatever the suit is, giant pip in the center, and then you have the skull sticking out of the top. And again, on the aces you all have, in the pips in the corners, you have the little skull and crossbones, which is very interesting and nice. So we'll just set that one down. Again, all the 2s are the same, all the 3s are the same, 4s, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way until you get to like the Jacks again, because each one is different. I mean, they all have that same look, but you know, every court card is different in all decks. None are ever the same except for, I think it's black. No, all of them are different. So yeah, these are very nice. Let's see, the Ace of Clubs is very nice. You have the Ace of Clubs right there. It's the same thing like I explained with the other ones. And then you have the Ace of Hearts, which is, again, the same thing. This one you get to see actually more of the skeleton than you do in any of the other ones because the heart gives it that big crease to show. I'm not showing you this very well. I'm sorry if this is a long deck review, but this one I felt like it needed this time that I am giving it. And I'm still not done, which is sad. Because now I want to show you how all the handling and stuff is on this deck. This deck is great for handling. I'm just setting all these cards back on my in my deck real quick in the order that I have them because I like to keep my cards nice and neat unless they're cards that I use on a daily basis. So these are all just the cards. Remember, we have the jokers, which were nice with the reveal. Then you have this in the double backer. Let me show you the back of it real quick. The back is the same thing as you see on the cover, except it's very faded out like the rest of the cards are. It's faded, it looks old, it looks vintage, except for the whole modern day spray paint and duct tape thing. So that's just the back of the card. Alright, now let's get into spreading. Remember, I'm always on this wood surface, so spreading is not as easy as it would be on your little mats that you guys have at home. Now the spread on this, the spread is great. These look beautiful when they spread because you just barely see that vivid black that pops out in the background, which is always very nice and it catches your attention way more than a regular deck. Now fanning on this deck, I haven't really tried fanning, so let me give it a try on the fanning. Ooh, these fan beautifully. If you can see that, perfect distribution, and I'm not very good at fanning, I'm still getting better. So these fan beautifully. Like, I am more than impressed with these, more than any deck that I own actually at this point. So yeah, guys, this has been a Big Pass 52 with the Dose deck review. This one was longer, but I think it deserved it. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. This has been Big Pass 52. Post, comment, subscribe.